is that I've heard in the papers that there's going to be a big march. And the theme of the march is Save Our Judiciary. Save our judiciary. That's the theme of the march. And, the organizers of the march are hoping that they get many people in Ghana come together to demonstrate on how to save our judiciary.
Let it be known that the New Patriotic Party will fiercely and relentlessly resist any attempt to hijack our judicial system for any political gain. We urge Ghanaians across all divide to speak out and defend our constitution. We urge everyone to be part of this historic demonstration on Monday, 5th May. We must all be part of this effort.
Let me tell you up front, I am so disappointed in this march. I am here that people can rise to the level of set partisanship at the risk of national development, and they don't give a hoot. Their parents say we can come to power by any means necessary. Let the end justify the means. So all of a sudden, let's save the judiciary. Save which judiciary? From what? Folks, let me tell you something. When the NPP was going on the thank you tour, of which I commended them, say it's good that you want to touch base with your followers and thank them. Do you know something? What the thank you tour was bringing out was more mess. It was becoming muddy, What the thank you tour was bringing out, people making pronouncements against the NPP itself, saying, we were very arrogant, we're this, we're that.
All the studies are so far. The big issues are one, a idea, arrogance of power. Express yasu na ayenti, yasu edi, yentie asem.
KSM and any punty arrogance and the dear Durubabia.
So I think the thank you tour theme was not very well followed, and it ended up backfiring for the dear NPP. The thank you tour was just leaving traces of conflict, traces of misunderstanding. Sadly enough, the thank you tour that was supposed to unite the party just somehow misfired. At the end of the day, there was a conflict, and Kennedy Japan said he and his group were withdrawing because they were getting attacks from the Bawumia angle. And look at this mess.
Lives are threatened. I don't think I can protect my team enough. So we want out so that Dr. Bawumia can do his campaign tour. We just have to stay away for them to do their own thing.
Folks, you're planning. You sit down, you plan, you think, and then you execute. So this whole thank you tour and what it ended up being was not good for the image of the NPP. The national chairman withdrew. For whatever reason, he withdrew. But I'm saying this, folks. Then your good image. You know what the NPP should have projected? Project a party that wants to come back to power. A party that, for all intents and purposes, is by far superior to the NDC. That's what you wanted to project. That to whatever reason, we have to come back. That was the whole idea of the thank you tour. And let me tell you this, and I said it long ago, that politics, the essence of politics, is about winning the hearts and the minds of the people. And I don't know. The essence of politics is how do you win the hearts and the minds of the people. So for me, any intelligent political party that is organizing anything, whether it's a victory tour or a victory thank you, whatever, the end game should be this. Is this going to win the minds and the hearts of the people? That is the bottom line, But you don't do things that people find repulsive, and instead of trying to attract people to win the hearts and the minds of the people, you are rather pushing them away and say, now we cry the thing. This doesn't look too good. Folks, me mom dear, and I could be wrong. And that's what I always do when I'm talking to my producer. I say, maybe I'm wrong. And I'll say that when I'm doing representation. I could be wrong. But what I think is this, that the thank you tour has sort of backfired. You know, when you see what Kennedy's anger, the withdrawal of the chairman, and that's a backfire. So the best thing now is to quickly put something else there that will take away from the messy thank you tour that was attempted. So the new thing is now, let us unite and save the judiciary. We have to save the judiciary because the judiciary is in turmoil. It's the judiciary is collapsing. So all of Ghanaians, every Ghanaian where you are, the call is join in the march of May 5th to help save the judiciary.
Let it be known that the new patriotic party will fiercely and relentlessly resist any attempt to hijack our judicial system for any political gain. We urge Ghanaians across all divide to speak out and defend our constitution. We urge everyone to be part of this historic demonstration on Monday, 5th May. We must all be part of this effort.
To which I say, crap. Save the judiciary? And what exactly is the reason for this clamor to save the judiciary? Is it because the Chief Justice has been asked to step aside? And folks, if it is because the Chief Justice has been asked to step aside, what is unconstitutional about that? The Ghana Bar Association, if I'm saying something that's not true, it's okay. Come out and say, KSM, you're lying. Everything was unconstitutional about it. So I apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't understand because we're a lawyer. So folks, I'm saying this, so let's take it one by one. If it's because the Chief Justice has been asked to step aside, what was the unconstitutional thing that the president has done? Bring it out so that we can all say, this is what the Constitution says. These are the clauses of the Constitution. President Mahama, you have flouted the Constitution. Is that not how we argue intelligently in a so-called democracy? Name the things. Now you're challenging Mahama with the things. You know, but I haven't heard anything. This man that was appointed as the acting Chief Justice, according to the Constitution, it is long service. If the Chief Justice is not there, whoever comes next is whoever is in the Supreme Court Justice who has had long service. So automatically, it fell to Bafo-Bonny. So, I mean, I'm still waiting, folks. Tell me, say, this Bafo-Bonny thing, it was wrong because it was not constitutional. Tell that to me. If not, then shut the trap up. You know, so I see all these attempts, very unnecessary, very petty, very immature. Say, Bafo-Bonny Christ related to, may he rest in peace, former Bafo-Bonny of Radio Gold. And so, Bafo-Bonny is related to Eugene Bafo-Bonny, who was sent to jail for the NCA, whatever. And so, I mean, come on, Charlie, we are growing. You know. This country is growing, and I hope that we are growing and we are expressing our maturity and evolution as we grow politically. Let's not go back. Let's not rewind the time. Please, don't send us back. So what? Even if Bafo-Bonny is related to Bafo-Bonny Radio Gold, and so what? The two best examples we have that I will quote now are the Jinapo brothers. And they are both my good friends. One is an NDC man, dying the wool NDC. The other one is an NPP man, dying the wool NPP. And so what? And so freaking what, folks? They come from the same family. It's just that politically, one is on this spectrum, the other is on that spectrum. And so what? Charlie, let us grow and mature as human beings. So let us stop this petty, immature partisanism. It's a different thing when the thing is just petty, but it is a different ball of wax when it is both petty and immature. And I'm telling you, that's what we are seeing now. It is very, very petty and very, very immature. New Chief Justice is a Chief Justice not because of any reason. The only reason is a long service. According to the Constitution in there, he's the now, by default, he's the one who is qualified to be the next Chief Justice. And why next Chief Justice? So why? I hope you guys feel the pain. That's why sometimes I say me, sometimes I say maybe I'm an idealist. And you know that many idealists are not practical or whatever. We're looking at the ideal situation. But human beings don't like that. Human beings want the immature part. Human beings want the part that will allow them the opportunity to fight and argue and do this. Folks, we are marching to save the judiciary. Has there been any appointments that were illegally done? Please publish them. Mahama, woof away. And for these reasons, illegal. Unconstitutional. So that we know that you are fighting on some very, very fertile ground. So you are fighting because this is what the Constitution says, and you're going against it. Then we all can join the fight and understand. But if it's just we are fighting to save the judiciary based on partisan reasons, please. How many appointments did the former president make to the Supreme Court? Was there an issue? So let's go and fight it. Was there an issue? This is the advice I'll give to my dear friends in the NPP. No matter how you castigate me, no matter how angry you get, the fact of the matter is that you're behaving as people who have a sense of entitlement. Any NPP, we are entitled to this. When we are in power, we can do this. And nobody ever raised a voice. But when we ask for power and somebody else does it, then we'll gather the whole nation to fight it. It's a sense of entitlement. Folks, it is a sense of entitlement. And that does not fit in a nation that wants to develop. Look, the key thing is be constitutional. Quote from the Constitution. Quote from the law of the land and say these laws have been flouted. And then call the whole Ghana and say, let's support you because these laws have been flouted. But don't call the whole Ghana and say, because of whatever reason. I've told you, if there are two reasons that are now floating around, two reasons that are floating around. One, according to one of the reasons, the Chief Justice is being asked to step aside, and that is a danger to our democracy.
Therefore, reiterate our call for the immediate reinstatement of the Chief Justice and the withdrawal of his unconstitutional action. The future of our republic, the confidence of our people in the judiciary, and the very soul of our democracy depends on this.
Madam, let's be real, folks. Let's calm down and just really think. Okay? When a petition comes, the Constitution says the petition must be investigated. End of discussion. The Constitution says it must be investigated. So whether it's made up by people or not, whether it's somebody's, whatever it is, once the petition has come, it must be investigated. The Constitution empowers the president to take action. Now, this is what I'm talking about, folks. Let the court decide the validity or invalidity of the petition. And when the court decides a petition and they're valid, throw the case away. But the court interprets it. The interpretation is subject to the court. Petition the aba, where then you umpo aba. So when it comes, it must be investigated. Honorable Adompre, petition against Loretta Lamte and the NDC. The petition was looked at. She was fired. Oh, Charlie, this is the first time this is happening in Ghana. Say, member of parliament be a petition say something has gone wrong, and they have the right to. Say be a wrong to a petition, and I'm not on pray you did it. Me boy me, and it was against the SHRAC chairman who was an appointee of Mahama anyway. Then, in 2015, she was fired. Yeah, who be there? A petition came against Charlotte Osei. The petition was looked at. At the end of the day, Charlotte was fired. Yeah, who be that? This is nothing new. Why? How come? Because it's the Chief Justice, and because she was nominated by then President Akufo-Addo, all of a sudden there's this sense of entitlement that she alone, dear, she is above the law. That's the argument. Oh. Look, let me tell you this. All this furore about the CJ and everything is just an expression of people saying that they do not believe in the integrity of the Supreme Court. NPP, I'm putting it to you directly. If you are saying, and if all this furore say, the Chief Justice is above the law, then what you are saying is that you do not believe in the integrity of the Supreme Court. Because if you believe in the integrity of the Supreme Court, then you allow the Supreme Court to chart its own course like it did with Charlotte Osei, like it did with Loretta Lamte. Why will it do the same thing with the Chief Justice? And if in fact the petition is false, if in fact the petition is false and it has been investigated and the whole Ghana knows it's false, CJ, take your job back. That is the essence of the democracy we are practicing. And that is the true test of our Supreme Court. Say, Charlie, no matter what, the Supreme Court will stand by what it's supposed to do. So all the noises that are coming up is just an expression of the belief that we do not trust the Supreme Court all of a sudden. We don't trust the Supreme Court. If you trust the Supreme Court, allow it to work. But because you don't trust it, there's all these mud and noises. As I said the other time, Shakespeare showed a play, it was called Much Ado About Nothing. But we share substance behind him. If you trust the Supreme Court, my dear fellow NPP people who are in the forefront of this agenda, if you trust the Supreme Court, let the law do his work. Let the court do his work. If you don't trust the Supreme Court, then go on a demonstration and say, we are now trying to save the judiciary. Since when did you discover that the judiciary needs saving? When recently, according to even the party constitution, if members of the party who have won on a particular party ticket decide that they are no longer with the party but they are crossing carpet, or they are now becoming independent, and Bagwin said, no, if you want to declare yourself independent, then the constitution, and even the party constitution says that once it was that party that brought you into power, if you are no longer with that party, then your very stand in the party is questionable. Isn't that the constitution? But you went to the Supreme Court for interpretation. It means you trust the Supreme Court. It means you have faith in the Supreme Court to the extent that even though what the party members had done is even against the very party constitution, you still went to the Supreme Court for interpretation. Wasn't it interpreted? And were you not happy? So this is my question, a very simple thing. If you trusted the Supreme Court then, what has happened to the Supreme Court now? All of a sudden, hell has broken loose that we are calling all Ghana to organize the biggest demonstration to save our judiciary. And since when did you realize that the judiciary was not safe? Is it because of the one reason that the Chief Justice, there's a petition against the Chief Justice? If it's that one reason that I'm saying is that let the court, allow the court to look at the petition. And if it doesn't make sense, the CJ will walk free. And yes, and be a thing. But the law, unfortunately, is that when there's a petition, it must be investigated. And when the petition is being investigated and whoever's at the center of the petition, please step aside. Wait, is this a rocket science? Is it me? And the other thing too that I've heard creeping up, that the judges that were appointed by Mahama is because he wants to come to them to come and fight for his third term in office.
There is this sinister motive by Mr. Mahama to pack the judiciary to seek a judicial interpretation of the Constitution which will interpret Article 62 so that he intends to go a third term.
Let me say this now. I think that is so much hogwash. And I think that's a campaign theme for Jandam. So that now, you know what Jandam is? Jandam is telling a lie over and over and over again so that it becomes believable. It's been done in this country. You tell a lie so much that it will stick in the people's minds. Say Mahama Pete term in office. It is complete Jandam, but it is sufficient basis to get people aggravated. Say, hey, you have served the Constitution. What do you want a third term for? So because it has that sufficient basis to get people angry, you can start the Jandam. That is the purpose of Jandam. Get people riled up. Get people angry. And let me say this. If at the end of the day, it happens that you are right, and that all this time, Mahama just wanted to stay in power for a third term, yes, sir. If that time comes, unless I'm dead, but so long as me, KSM, so long as this show is still alive, we will grill Mahama until kingdom come. If it happens to be true, I just don't believe it. I just think that it is very, very fertile. That's the word I'm looking for. It is very, very fertile, Jandam. Jandam is come up with something so that you can attract support. He's been in power for what? 4 months now? And already the Jandam is starting, the man wants a third term. Oh, come on, guys. If anybody says I'm lying, then you have my number. Call me, KSM. These are the things why we believe that Mahama is doing this to plant an agenda for the third term in office. Now, the third term, Ghana for are we all not part of the Constitution that says that Mahama has 1 more term and that he's here for 4 more years? Isn't that the Constitution? Don't we all know it? And what will go into Mahama's mind? Say, Charlie, no, me another term. And then all organizers say, oh, okay, yeah, no. If it's unconstitutional, trust me, it is unconstitutional. If it's unconstitutional, it is unconstitutional. And whatever the Constitution says we should do, we'll do. But 3 months into the reign of Mahama, say, well, we're making all these appointments because he wants a third term. And all of a sudden, that's going to be the focus of the Jandam. So we are fighting against Mahama's third term. I mean, maybe it's because I'm ignorant. From anywhere that Mahama plans to go on the third term. There's a constitution, there are laws and everything. Even if the constitution allows it, and yeah, election here, wouldn't people be called to vote? Isn't that the time to put somebody there to campaign and submit, say, this man we don't want anymore? Anyway, that's besides the point, Mom. But folks, let's do this. So we have a country to build. Let us make sure that we allow Ghana to grow for once. Look, you can hate the government all you want. It's your choice. Feel free. You can hate the government all you want. But if the government you hate happens to be doing things that is developing the nation, then you are like somebody who wants somebody to die, so he drinks poison on behalf of the person. Say I hate Richard so much, so I condone poison, so that Richard will die. That's my point. Look, we have gone to the oral thing that has come up. They say they are about, not the whole of the 2,000 cases, so you see 34 if 34 of them we are able to track the loot from the 34, it's in excess of like $200 billion loot. So how can we live in a country where the loot is in excess of 200 billion and we go to the IMF and say, oh my, 2 billion? Does that make sense? So folks, let me wrap up because my time is going. I'm saying, say the judiciary, number one, if it's because you say the CJG has been asked to step aside.
Therefore, reiterate our call for the immediate reinstatement of the Chief Justice and the withdrawal of his unconstitutional action. The future of our republic, the confidence of our people in the judiciary, and the very soul of our democracy depends on this.
It is constitutional. I've mentioned the names already, I'm going to mention it again. If it is because you say that it's a secret agenda for Mahama to come so that he can run office for the third term,
there is this sinister motive by Mr. Mahama to pack the judiciary to seek a judicial interpretation of the Constitution which will interpret Article 62 so that he intends to go a third term.
That dear, I'm sorry. I find it so ridiculous, and I just find it as a very strong campaign for Jandam. And Jandam is simple. It's called the big lie. And in political science, they say if you repeat the big lie so many times, it becomes a truth. So keep hitting Mahama, Jandam, the media, Jandam, all of a sudden, Mahama, folks. And that is enough to aggravate people because nobody is looking for that kind of unconstitutional behavior. Anyway, like I said, if that time comes and it is true, you hear me, unless I'm dead. So folks, let me end by saying this. This whole thing about saving the judiciary is a charade. It's a charade. It's a very, very petty partisan agenda. And I know I've opened myself up for attacks and lambasting and insults, and I don't care. I don't care. Mine is, we are at the point where we cannot afford to prevent Ghana from developing. I'm going to be doing some shows, because I told you, we look at things critically. There are some shows that I'm going to be doing, which are going to be talking. We are going to be looking at the manifesto of what NDC has promised and get into it and analyze it and make sure that people promise and they can stick to it. That's the point I want Ghanaians to get to, and that's the point that I feel that the youth are heading towards. Don't come and talk and go. Talk and prove. Show us that you do the things, and then we'll back it. But if you come and talk and you can't deliver, we will let you go. It's not all about talk. Talk is cheap. It's about delivering. And I say, so long as I'm here, as long as I'm alive, we shall be monitoring how much the NDC will deliver. And we'll just be putting our foot, on the brakes so much that they can't afford to take their eyes off the ball. Because the minute they take their eyes off the ball, on better make the show. So, Mecca. But right now, as I sit here, dear, I'm sorry. This whole gendarme about we need to demonstrate to save our judiciary is a charade. If the judiciary is in trouble, and you really, really believe that the judiciary is in trouble, all you say is that this CJ case, let's allow the judiciary to go. Let us see how it deals with the petition. And after it has dealt with the petition, then who say, yeah, Charlie, it has been fair, it has been just, it has been dignified. So CJ, go, or CJ, stay. Allow the Supreme Court to do their work. Because you are interfering with the Supreme Court work with all these demonstrations, because you are seeing the judiciary distractions. Please. The thank you tour did not go off very well. And the free advice I'll give you is that it shouldn't have been a thank you tour. It should have been an apology tour. That's all you had to do. So we are going back because the NPP says that many people did not go to vote. And that's why the NDC won. Fine. Let me give you that. So it is time to apologize to the many people. Because you know why they didn't go to vote. So why don't you think of an apology tour and look at your people in the face and tell them, we apologize. We should have done this and that, or we didn't do it, but we'll do it now. Instead of this infighting and leaving a scar and a trail of misunderstanding and disunity. And now trying to take us all our minds off that trail. You say, let's go and demonstrate to the judiciary. Folks, let me end here because we'll be back soon. I intend to carefully monitor this demonstration, and after that, I may do another show based on what I monitor. I may do another show. Okay, and this is to all well-meaning Ghanaians who want this nation to rise. This is your message. And this message is going to Mahama, is going to all of you in power now, who want this nation to rise, who are determined to change the mindsets. Please, keep the focus, because this distraction is enormous. It's only the 4th month. And trust me, it won't just be people demonstrating, say, we are saving the nation, or we are saving the judiciary. You start be hearing things, TUC will come up, GBA will come up, all kinds of things will come up. I'm saying this. Let's stay focused on building this nation. And let's expect, and then if you don't expect it, let's expect that there are going to be so many attempts to distract. But let us chart the course to build this nation so that we can steer this nation towards nation building. And we can say Ghana has risen again. And to everybody, especially the youth, don't just get up and go and join things because, of course, think. And if in your own mind it is justified, go and join it. But I think if you really think about it, you realize that this is all part of partisan immaturity. And don't become a tool for partisan immaturity. And by the way, some of you have seen this and say, hey, KSM, but so I said Michael Jackson. No, we're just Silver. Michael Jackson is near Silver. By the way, this was given to me by Aunt Margaret, who visited from Germany. She's a talk shop fan who lives in Germany, doesn't miss any of our shows, and she visited with her daughter and granddaughter. We took a picture. Look at them. All right, and then she gave me this is to help sustain Miss Sunny, And then just Miss Michael Jackson, Auntie Margaret, thank you very much for this. But for all of you who are waiting for the Traore show, trust me, hear me pa. In the meantime, folks, let us call it a day and say that whatever you do, man, I know the Jandam hurricane is ready to blow. But I'm telling you, those of us who want this nation built will keep working so that Ghana rises again.